How have you seen people react in terms from customers and people looking to buy fitness programs?
I've always been surprised, like you say, how many people buy in December, but actually how many people start in December, like 10th of December, 11th of December is bizarre.
What would you say is the biggest limiting belief most coaches need to almost kill going into 2025?
They get in their head that they believe someone else is doing something very special, something very different.
Some magic silver bullet.
Magic pill.
Chris gave him this thing.
Exactly.
He's not telling me.
Yeah, why aren't you telling me this, Chris?
But the reality is, because you made 4 reels doesn't mean you can then go to like a super advanced ad strategy.
Exactly.
It's not like you did it once, you then go to like chapter 10.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter, like if you make 4 reels and you're sort of like, they don't pop, that's okay. The concept's probably fine, the execution's probably off. Do them again, do them again, do them again, do them again.
What do you think is the most important skill for an online coach? If you're an online coach, you're looking to scale your business, you're going to love this. We're going to talk about how you can be as successful as possible over the festive period of Christmas and New Year. This is a time of the year where most people don't realize that actually a lot of people are buying coaching programs. I have traditionally found December is actually better than January because most competent individuals understand that New Year is coming actually in December, so they prepare in advance, probably something Chris learned in the military, and they actually sign up with most coaches in December to actually start in January. So today, myself and Chris can give as much advice as we can to help you really crush that period. From your own experience, Chris, how have you seen people react in terms from customers and people looking to buy fitness programs over the Christmas period, and maybe some misconceptions with that?
I've always been surprised, like you say, how many people buy in December, but actually how many people start in December, like 10th of December, 11th of December is bizarre. I think that's because we have so much like psychology behind building up to Christmas period, and people start that process too early and they get a couple of weeks into it, into December, the Christmas parties, all this stuff, and they realize they need to act before something. Yeah, exactly. Rein it in quickly, and so they can enjoy Christmas and then, get on the program. So I think the psychology of leaving it till January is still there, but actually a lot of people look to buy it earlier.
And I think if you position that well from a framework of the language you use in terms of your content, even in terms of getting a head start, or even, I actually think something that's really true is if you're a consumer, a certain person wants to get in shape, it's called a Mr. Smith, and you're Mr. Smith, and I sign up to Chris Ashford coaching on the 10th of December to start in January, I'm already consciously making better choices in my mind because I know I'm starting with you in January.
And people actually lose weight in that time as well, even if they don't officially start. So when you celebrate success with your clients online, typically people have a goal towards the end of the year. That starts to turn wheels in people's head, that they think that actually that's something I need to do and I didn't do it last time, so I better start now.
And one of the best ways I would do that from a positioning perspective is some people will try and kick the can down the road. They've got Christmas parties, they're at Christmas, all this stuff they're going to eat and drinking. We would often give away a month's free coaching over December. So like, well, there's no loss, you might as well start now, and we can make some headway and actually make as much progress as you can whilst you enjoy yourself as much as you would be normally, and then come January, you're just in a better position anyway.
Exactly, and you give as much free value as well, so you can say, look, we'll get you properly started on, I don't know, the 3rd of January, the 2nd of January, but take this now, run with it, and you can still enjoy Christmas.
What would be some hacks that maybe coaches listening to this could give to their clients to allow them to maybe enjoy some of the Christmas period and some of the festivities without having to be like too authoritarian with them? I
think, well, personally with my clients, I give them advance warning of time off over Christmas, time off the business, from a sort of perspective of we're not checking in for this particular week over Christmas so that we can position ourselves where we can actually fully relax, talk about rest and recovery and all this stuff. That said, I give them enough warning so that they can really make the most of the time and actually, in many cases, accelerate their results before. So they sort of like 2 steps forward, half a step back in that period, but they've got the sort of flexibility to do that.
With some people, I think even in their business, if you give them some flexibility, if you give them an inch, they take a mile.
100%.
Which is why I think actually from a business perspective, and hands up, I see myself do this sometimes, it's like, if you let your personal standards start to slip a little bit, it's like little day erodes. How can people stop that happening to them and maybe their own business standards over that period where maybe, and I've seen this with people, and you'll probably know people I'm thinking about, who they do fuck all and then like their business doesn't do well, and it's like, well, you've just been playing golf and going on holiday and you X, Y, Z. It's like, dude, you got, like, everyone has life, right? But you still have to do the work.
And I think, with the thing I said there about check-ins, it's not about stopping the processes and the work and the structure. That all stays. I'm just removing some of the not even, all of the fulfillment. I'm still doing touch points and speaking to clients, staying on top of them. But you keep that framework in place and you just let the clients just rest and sort of recuperate their brain, because it's a good reset for them as well, because they want to come back in. As a coach, you still have to be on top of that, because that week of Christmas is absolutely crucial. Boxing Day is the day where I'm really pushing something, because I know that I'm going to get people inquiring because they're sat there on the sofa with their turkey.
I don't know if you've heard about me talk about this before. Do you know the highest day for property searches on the entire year?
I don't know.
Christmas Day.
Is it?
One of the highest days of just general website visits is Christmas Day.
Is it because people are in a house cramped full of people?
Yeah, and a lot of them don't like their family and stuff they're with, or also like fairly fucking miserable. So actually one of the best days actually launching some type of promotional offer is actually on Christmas Day.
Without doubt.
So which most people would seem very counterintuitive, but I actually know that statistically from my background in property that the highest number of all website visits is actually on Christmas Day, because everyone's off work. A lot of people fucking hate their family, or like, oh, my bloody in-laws. So or they're maybe like, someone's maybe made a snide comment about the way they look at, like, oh, you've put on a bit of weight, Chris, over the last 6 months, blah, 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 blah. And that's what triggers them. And I think this is where people who aren't sharp during that period miss the pivotal points. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and over that period is very important. I also think the language you use also in terms of getting people to talk about setting goals for next year is very powerful.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more.
What do you think coaches can do working with their clients to improve goal setting, and even in terms of sales call conversations to try and sell longer programs through 2025?
Well, it starts with Black Friday, doesn't it? You have those people that are in your coaching program already, and you start getting them into, a lot of people might be timing out in sort of November, December, but you try and push that runway that they have out way further forward, at least 6 months, if not 12. And pretty much that's going to eat up most of 2025. And then you start laying the foundations. I've been doing this already. You're due to finish in December. We're going to do your Black Friday deal. It's going to, kickstart on the 1st of January. This is what we're going to achieve. And I tell them this. You give them the outcome goal, not, you just say you've done a great job, but now what we're going to do, because you've done X, Y, and Z, we're going to do A, B, and C next year. So, and you're like celebrating them. You say, this is the opportunity now. This is where the fun's going to start. I think that's kind of the way to do it.
In my opinion, the big thing people need is a roadmap and certainty. They need to know like where they're going and how they're going to get there. And your job as a coach is to give them the certainty and the conviction that they can go through and do that. And I think a lot of that is the language you use and the way you explain it. And actually that's something you do very well with obviously the coaches who join 7-Figure Scaling Systems, because I think the human brain, as soon as it can see the possibility of the end destination, it's fucking all in, which is like even you see it at the event here this weekend, right? It's like we had 2 clients come on stage, get an award for hitting their first £100,000 month. Like everyone's like, well, I want one of those. I've seen them all do it.